Well, hello there, everyone. Thank you for joining our podcast. Joining us as our featured guest is Chad Warner. He is IT manager at KraftCPAs. He's here to talk about some of the best ways to partner with an IT services firm for infrastructure modernization projects. Chad, glad to have you on board, sharing your thoughts from, again, a leadership position here. This is really meant to kind of be a peer-to-peer conversation. Let me set the stage for everyone listening. KraftCPAs currently migrating to HPE Synergy and HPE Nimble Storage. Goals: simplify the company's IT infrastructure. Now, you partnered with TSA for this deployment. Love to start off here talking a little bit about some of the critical factors that you, or really, again, any IT leader, should be considering when partnering with a company like TSA. What are things you look for? Do you have a list of questions that you ask kind of before you sign on with one company or another?
I want the same people who I work with on planning and implementing to be the same people I work with when things aren't working, especially on a project like this. Being pushed off after implementation to a different department, different people is something I want to avoid, and from experience, I recommend avoiding. It's also important that you try and gauge their actual expertise. Don't give them all the bullet points you want to cover during a demo or evaluation meeting. Keep some of those to yourself to drop them as surprises and see how they handle those. This can tell you a lot about their actual knowledge of something versus their ability just to research talking points.
That's a good little insider tip there. Talking about talking points, if you will. HPE Nimble, HPE Synergy, part of the marketing around those technologies and really feedback coming back in from the industry is that they're pretty user-friendly in terms of solutions. They can be deployed, they can be managed with a lot of internal IT resources. So to that end, what types of value do you see in really partnering with an external IT service provider like TSA here for this type of project? And is there one or two things that you can point to that you gained from partnering that you might not have if you had tried a more do-it-yourself approach?
That support throughout the entire process. With the DIY approach, I would have worked with engineers and we'd have gotten everything implemented, and I'm confident that they would have done an excellent job. But all that work and knowledge that we created during the implementation, that would be with them. That wouldn't be with the next engineer that I talked to or had a question about or wanted to run something by. All that would just be with that first person that I talked to, and they're on to other projects. So that support throughout the entire process is critical.
TSA, they are a Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Platinum partner. In importance of that to someone like you, do you really look out there and say, if you're not one of these, you're not even on my short list? Are there other kind of certifications and things that you look for when you're out there doing major deployments, again, working on these HPE Synergy and HPE Nimble Storage?
Well, having a partner that has devoted the time and effort to get those HP certifications and training is valuable because they can utilize that knowledge as they begin to work with me and understand my business and my needs. So they know the pieces of Synergy and Nimble that will make the most impact, and they can highlight those and make sure that I'm able to take full advantage of everything they're offering.
One of the biggest challenges to IT teams, to folks like you these days, is just the speed that businesses, right? The business units come to you as the IT folks, and they want stuff and they want it yesterday, right? So the speed of service delivery, of driving the business forward, of helping the business innovate, that's something that IT teams are charged with. They're trying to do. I think a lot of IT teams embrace that. That's why you got into IT. You want to solve some problems, but you got mired down at times from technology sprawl, things like that. So let me ask you, how does partnering, in your view, as a leader, with an IT service provider really help you then drive those businesses forward? And maybe specifically towards KraftCPAs, what do you see that TSA did that is helping advance your group?
Well, new tech and new trends come out all the time, and keeping up with it can be a full-time job on its own. So having an IT service provider that understands your business and your needs from the periodic discussions that you have with them, that gives you the backup and the lookout that you need to stay on top of it. So TSA knew my desire for an infrastructure that was much easier to work with and much more capable for growth. So the synergy and nimble combo just made sense when all those factors were considered.
Chad, let me ask you this. How long have you been working with TSA? How long have they been a partner that you've relied on?
I've been working with them in one capacity or another for about 6 years. So the first 2 years that I've worked with them, I was standard supervisor role here at Kraft, and they helped me a lot with the day-to-day operations of our environment. The last 4 years, I've been working them more in a leadership role, so I've had the opportunity to work with them on projects, things related to business here at Kraft.
Hey, Chad, so far some great stuff you've shared with us. And I want to wrap up with a little kind of peer-to-peer advice. You really sharing and talking with IT leaders. So let me have you do this. Reflect, if you can, back on kind of all the IT deployments that you've done with all IT service providers. What are a couple of things that you really, really look for and encourage others to look for as well?
Having a partner that not only understands the solution they're offering, but how it can relate and impact your business is very important. So make sure the partner that you choose is engaging, not only listening, but bringing meaningful conversations to the table. As an IT leader, I don't need someone just to repeat what I'm saying in a different way. Bring something new, a new product, a new process, a new way of looking at the problem.
And then let me have you wrap up here with TSA. Obviously, you've spent those at least 6 years working with them because they brought you those newer perspectives and ways of viewing something, a new solution to a problem. Something come to mind for you where they really gave you some kind of added value that if you didn't have that relationship and partnership, you might have missed something?
Well, in our discussions, and we have those, whether it be over lunch or at the office, I talked about some challenges that we had, in our current environment. They said, if we make this change in your hypervisor, then you'll be able to do that, and that'll solve that challenge for you. So those types of things are invaluable because I may have gone for who knows how long before I realized that was even a feature. It just needed to be enabled.
Hey, Chad, great little anecdote there for us to wrap up on. So do appreciate your time here today. Thanks for the insights on just in general, your thoughts on IT service providers and partners, and appreciate the insights you shared on how TSA really helped you in the past and obviously are helping you now on these HPE Synergy and HPE Nimble Storage projects. Folks, if you're looking for more information, if you would like to learn about how TSA can work with your team and maybe choose technologies like HPE Synergy or HPE Nimble Storage for your business, then you can reach out to them. We're going to give you a phone number. Jot this down. It's 1-800-422-4872. Again, 800, then 422-4872. Give them a call, get on the phone, have a conversation. With that, we are going to wrap things up. Appreciate you listening, and we do look forward to talking to you all down the road.